and welcome to the United Stand. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has toughened up at Manchester United, reacting to a Manchester United legend being derogatory towards his players. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about quite a few things. De Gea's contract. Sir Alex Ferguson's major involvement in Manchester United that I think a lot of people aren't actually realising, and another quote from Solskjaer that really shows the in-depth with how Sir Alex Ferguson is getting involved with the United team more than he's ever done since he left, which is amazing. But fantastic news, I believe, to start off with. The Fellaini rumours keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is amazing. Like, apparently there are 3 clubs interested: a Turkish club, AC Milan, and I think China as well. But Manchester United want £15 million for Fellaini. Now, I've always said I'd sell him for a packet of quavers, but £15 million for Fellaini when we don't really want him anymore. It's like putting your bin bags out, and on the morning you get a knock on the door. The bin men knock on the door, and they say, you open the door, it's the bin men, and they go, "We want to give you £15 million for your rubbish." You're like, really? It's rubbish. I know, we want to give you £15 million. And you say, shut up, and you take the money. It's brilliant. I would let him go for nothing. I would drive him there. And it's nothing personal. It really isn't, although it may sound like it is. He's just not a Manchester United player. He's never been a Manchester United player in the vision I have of what Manchester United should be. Sir Alex Ferguson, what Ollie's trying to do. It's just not a Manchester United player, and he's been under 3 managers, and it proves that Moyes, Van Gaal and Mourinho were not Manchester United managers, because Fellaini's not a Manchester United player. He's just not. What does he offer in a Manchester United way? Is he quick? No. Can he run with the ball? No. Is he skillful? No. Has he got a passing range? No. Is he tenacious? No. He's nothing. So if he goes, great. And apparently he's Mourinho's bag man anyway. So get out, get out, get out. And you know what? People can say you're being really harsh. Good. Because this is the ruthlessness that Manchester United need to have with Deadwood FC, which resides in Old Trafford and Carrington. We need to be ruthless. Cruel to be kind, whatever. They've earned a lot of money out of our club. Get out. Let's start building our club back to where it needs to be, because it's life. It's life. It matters. Manchester United matters to us. It's not some little thing that we flick on the telly and go, oh, what's happening in EastEnders today? Manchester United actually bloody matters to a lot of us. We want to be successful. You watch how it matters in May if Liverpool win the league. It's going to bloody hurt. Really hurt. So we need to start taking it seriously, and we need to be ruthless. The second thing we need to be ruthless about, a lot of rumours around David De Gea wanting £300,000 a week to sign a new contract. What's the bloody delay? Why is De Gea... I mean, De Gea was meant to be signing a contract last summer. A year ago, there was talk of him signing a new contract. 12 months down the line, what are we delaying about? We're waiting for it to print out or something. Problem with the fax machine again. Why has he not signed the contract? Why has he not signed the contract? £300,000 a week is we're haggling with. We're paying bloody Alexis Sanchez 350 grand a week to walk his bloody dogs. You know, give somebody the money who actually does something in a Manchester United shirt. De Gea's worth 600 grand a week. And he's worth it. He's Jennifer Aniston. He's worth it. If anyone doesn't know what I'm on about there, L'Oreal, because I'm worth it. He's worth it. You shouldn't have to explain jokes. If you do, they're dead jokes. But David De Gea is worth it. He's worth 300 grand a week. He's bloody worth more than that. Give him the bloody money. Give him what he wants. You know, seriously, get him signed, because that's what happened at the weekend. I've heard United fans in the past saying, well, if we lose De Gea and we get our black, it's only a goalkeeper. And I think we saw it at the weekend. That's why Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans, they're saying you were lucky at the weekend. It's nothing to do with luck. It's because you've got the best goalkeeper in the world. You've got the best goalkeeper in the world. They win your games. They win your games by not letting goals in their net. Give him the bloody money. That's what I say. Certainly do. Anyway, let's get on with the tagline. Solskjaer toughens up. Sharath Kamath Fitness says apparently Jose will be on as a pundit on BN Sports, and it will be very interesting. Sharath, it won't be very interesting. What did I tell you weeks ago? Not you personally. I didn't ring up Sharath and say, get on the phone, I've got something to tell you. I've told you all this. Jose Mourinho can't say nothing. He can't say nothing. I could walk up to his face and go, ah, ha, ha, ha. You're rubbish. You're absolutely rubbish, Jose. Your team's rubbish. Fellaini's absolutely rubbish. What you going to do? Come on. Paul Pogba's the best player in the world, and he mugged you off. He made you look that small. You're flaccid. You're a flaccid, dead end pub porn star. You're rubbish, Jose. You know what he'd do? He'd go, I say nothing. I can say nothing. Because he can't say anything. Because the minute he opens his mouth about Manchester United, it's going to cost him 15 million quid. It's the same thing that happened to Van Gaal. It's the same thing that happened to Moyes. Neither of them said anything for about 18 months. Because that's part of their severance. It's in their contract. I said this months ago that when Mourinho gets sacked, he'll have to button it. And he'll come out with stuff, and I believe he has. I choose not to say things when I get the sack. You choose not to say anything because you'll lose 15 million quid, mate. We're not stupid. So he can go on BN Sports with hairy hands Richard Keys and he can say whatever he bloody likes, but he won't be saying anything about Manchester United or Paul Pogba because he can't. And it's not about being moral or anything like that. If it's so important to him, he's a multimillionaire anyway. I'll tell you what, I'll have more respect for Mourinho if he actually does say stuff about United because he's kissing goodbye to £15 million and he's showing it's not all about the money. But he won't say anything. So people are getting excited and BN are probably getting a load of bloody subscriptions, but Mourinho won't say anything because he's not allowed. He won't want to lose the money. Henrim93 says, could Lukaku be our main man up front in the future if he loses a few pounds and gets back in shape? He was great at Everton. Yeah, if he finds the first touch, if he goes to passing school. There's loads of ifs there, but actually, no, he's never going to be the number 9 that we need, is he? Marcus Rashford absolutely shits all over him, to be honest with you. He's a much better player. Anyway, the United Stand-and Party. We're on it, Roadrunner. We're on it. We've not even got to the headline yet. We've had a good start. I'm enjoying it. Make sure you smash a like on video. But yes, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is toughening up. I think Jesse Lingard had said this at the weekend, and to me, I'd sort of said after his press conference last Friday, is there this feeling that Ollie is a little bit too nice? Because he's a nice person, but he's not. He ain't too nice. He's not too nice. He's only being nice because he's getting all the results. He can't come in after a press conference when he's winning games and go, "Ooh, I'm really unhappy. Ooh, I could crush a grape." He ain't going to do that. He's not going to do that because he's winning and he's happy. But I tell you what, there is stuff going on behind them scenes that are absolutely massive if you scratch the surface. He spoke about Giuseppe Rossi. We had Giuseppe Rossi at Manchester United when he was quite young with Piqué. I think we bought, I can't remember. I think we got Piqué from Barcelona and I think we bought Rossi from Parma and then we sold him off. And I don't know where we sold him to, but they were both. I remember getting them as youth players. Like they didn't come through the youth system. We bought them young. And I was thinking they're both going to do really well. Neither did in a United shirt, but Piqué went on to be one of the best centre-backs in the world. And Rossi went on to be a very good striker. He just was quite injury-prone. So he's training with us now. He's 31 years of age. So Ollie said there's not much chance of him staying at United. He's basically putting himself in the shop window. If people want him, they better move quick because he's doing really well in training. And he said yesterday he scored an absolute banger. And Sir Alex Ferguson was like, I can't believe it. That, to me, forget the Rossi thing. Great that you get him back. But that line there was gold. It was like, so Sir Alex Ferguson, we've heard he's been down to the training pitch, but Ollie let that out that Sir Alex Ferguson is at training so much that he's seeing Giuseppe Rossi score goals in training. Sir Alex Ferguson's at Carrington when we're training. Does that not, I'm trying to hold back the smile to not look like a kid in a sweet shop. Sir Alex Ferguson is regularly down at the training ground with Manchester United with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This has not been happening since he retired. It didn't happen with Moyes, it didn't happen with Mourinho, and it didn't happen with Van Gaal. He wasn't involved. With Ollie, he is. We've got the greatest sports manager there's ever been as a guru to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Carrick and everyone like that. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And I don't think a lot of people are picking that up on that because we've heard, he's visited the training ground. He's doing more than that. He's getting massively involved, and that is a massive positive. Because if you've got Sir Alex Ferguson next to you when you're trying to do something, there is no better guru. He's better than Yoda. He is. He's the ultimate master. But also, I will get to the headline now. Solskjaer toughens up. So what this was, Teddy Sheringham was, I don't know who he was doing it for, but he was doing punditry on the pitch before the Spurs game at the weekend. And he said that Ollie's had said he's not very happy with him because of some of the things he'd said about his players. Now, what Sheringham had basically been talking about was he'd been asked a question whether Paul Pogba could fit into the 99 team. And he said, he'd be an asset to that 99 team. I think he'd work really well with players like Keane and Beckham and Scholes because they calm him down. If he ever got his ideas above his station, they'd absolutely kick him up the arse and make sure that he realised he's a team player and it's all about Manchester United, which I thought was fair enough from Sheringham. But I think it was more about he's not nowhere near that level of a Keane and a Scholes yet. He hasn't got that consistency. And I don't think it was anything nasty from Ollie towards Teddy, because they were the super subs in '99. But I think what it shows is that Ollie is toughening up. He's very protective of his players that are playing for him. And again, that's totally discarding the "I'm too nice" tag, because it shows that these are his players, and he's going to, very much like Sir Alex Ferguson, I think we're going to see a very different thing to what we've seen. Certainly under Van Gaal and Mourinho, they were about themselves, and they were more than happy to throw players under the bus. Mourinho did it with Luke Shaw, with Martial, with Pogba, numerous players. Van Gaal did it. I remember him doing it with, what was the goalie's name? Not Barthez. I can't even think of his bloody name now. He was the Barcelona goalkeeper. Busquets. No, not Busquets. Somebody in the live comments will tell me. Jacob Me says that Kane's out till March. No Son. We're going third. I feel sorry for Spurs in that sense, to be honest with you. I do, because I prefer Spurs to Chelsea and Arsenal. I like Pochettino and I like Spurs. But obviously, if we can get in the Champions League ahead of them, I'll take that. And they are going to struggle now. They will struggle. It's not just good for us, it's good for them. Valdez, that was his name. Thanks, Jesse and everybody else. Yeah, it was Valdez. And Van Gaal was like that towards Valdez as well, publicly berating him. Sir Alex Ferguson very, very rarely did it. Very rarely did it. And I think with Ollie, we're going to see the school of the manual of Sir Alex Ferguson. He is going to be very protective of his players publicly. He isn't going to throw them under the bus. And I think that's very, very, very important. But the toughening up thing is, things are going on behind the scenes that we're not going to see. We heard yesterday about this rumour that he's not happy with Fellaini. Well, something's clearly going on with Fellaini, because Fellaini was starting games for United. He was certainly, if he wasn't starting, he was on the bench. He can't even get on the bench with United, which is a massive, statement for Ollie, who's only been there a month. We all can talk about the games that he's won, but what about the things he's doing? He's kicked Fellaini out the squad. He's kicked Valencia out the squad. He's put his number one striker, who cost 90 million, including add-ons, on the bench. He's made some major decisions, which is, I don't want to dwell on what Paul Ince said. Oh, anyone could have come in and done what he's done. No, he couldn't, because he's not just won games. He's made big decisions as well. He's removed players that were fundamental to our season up until Mourinho got sacked, and he's kicked them out of the team completely. And he started playing players that were in and out, that weren't being treated that well. I mean, you look at, the improvement in Pogba. Well, we can all say, I think Pogba's going to be a better player under a different manager than Mourinho. But how do you do that? It's not... People aren't like a computer. You don't just switch it on and it starts working when somebody's been sticking a screwdriver in it and not doing and abusing it. I'm not saying that Mourinho was doing that to Pogba at all. I'm just meaning he just didn't use him properly as a footballer. But it's one thing, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and walking into the team and saying, I'm going to get the best out of Paul Pogba now. Pogba, go out on the pitch and play. But Pogba's had 3 or 4 months of being, mentally not in the right position, not feeling good. You can't just run out and do that. So the man management that Solskjaer has had with Pogba to get in his head and say, forget the last 3 or 4 months, I believe in you, I want you to do this, I want you to get out there, forget all the negative press you get, forget all the United fans who were against you, because let's not forget, it was what's his name from Manchester Evening News, the Manchester United reporter there, he actually put a tweet out after the Cardiff game saying something along the lines of, I'm not convinced with Pogba, and I don't think many United fans are as well. Wouldn't surprise me if there was some booing on Boxing Day. So not only has Pogba had the Mourinho issue, he had a lot of press on his back. He had a lot of United fans on his back. So, it's not just as easy as just walking out and playing football, but Solskjaer's got in his head and got that out of him as well. I think the man management, the results are obviously the be-all and end-all. They always will be. But what I love about what Solskjaer's done is behind the scenes. It's the man management of the players. It's how many times he said he's spoken to each individual player, and even if they're on the bench, he's telling them why. Which was something that came out from United as well. Is that when Mourinho dropped players, he didn't necessarily tell them, whereas Ollie explains why you're not involved. So, are you worried about Martial production? Says Ari Guadalia. Right, I'm going to absolutely interpret that what my way, because I don't know what you mean by Martial production. I don't know whether he's doing a film, but I'm going to assume you mean in relation to his output, his creativity. But Martial's assists and goal stats are very, very good. He just needs to play games. He just needs to play games. Yeah, well, he was a fanboy for Mourinho, wasn't he? The Manchester Evening News guy, because Mourinho name checked him in a press conference. So the reality is that when it comes to Mourinho, I don't think anybody is Mourinho in now. They'll come back when we have a bad result. They'll come back, but they've been well and truly sat down, haven't they? They really have. So yeah, absolutely brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. I just want to talk about injuries as well. This is what it's like playing for Manchester United. There was actually a headline in the UK paper today that Manchester United defender takes his heavily pregnant girlfriend for a walk. Now, I don't think he didn't have her on a lead. I think Chris Smalling really likes dogs, so him and his pregnant wife were taking the dogs for a walk. But that's the sort of nonsense headline you get in the UK if you're a Manchester United player. You know, Manchester United player takes a crap. They'd do that if they had access to the Manchester United players' toilets. They really would. But it got me thinking about Smalling, and I don't know what's going to happen with the centre-back situation. Got quite an interesting theme in the Manchester United Transfer Daily that we do at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Quite an interesting, encouraging thing there, which I need to develop, and I'll talk about that tomorrow morning. But we need Chris Smalling back. We do need Chris Smalling back. We need somebody who is good in the air, and that was evident against Spurs. And I think against the lesser teams who are more physical and are more direct, we definitely need Smalling back, especially if we're not going to sign a centre-back. So we need to get some of these injured players back. I think Sanchez is back training tomorrow. He needs to get involved. We need that option off the bench, especially because I felt our bench was a little bit weak against Spurs, attacking-wise. We only really had Lukaku. But we definitely need a centre-back back. Bay's back now. I'm hoping Bay is going to get involved. I'd like to see Bay play against Brighton with Lindelof, because whatever you think about Phil Jones, Bay is better. So I'd like to see that happen. De Gea, Rossi. So coaching, yes. Mourinho, future. We've actually done that. That's good. Okay. I also want to talk about the coaching style of Manchester United, because there is this talk about what we're going to do at Manchester United and what's going to happen. But what is fundamentally clear is that the coaching setup at Manchester United is developing very, very fast. I think we're seeing the best of Carrick and McKenna. I think we saw the worst of them under Mourinho. And the sacking of Mourinho really could be the defining moment of those two people's career. I mean, you look at Phil Neville, who was David Moyes' right-hand man. It took him a long time to get back, and all right, he's managing the England women's team now, but with all due respect to that, was that what he aspired to be? I think he probably wants to be, managing a Premier League football team. And I don't think being David Moyes' right-hand man helped his career. The same with Giggs. I mean, Giggs has managed to grab quite a cushy job in Wales, but he could never get a Premier League job or even a Championship job because, being part of that Van Gaal recipe didn't help him. Again, Michael Carrick coming into the coaching arena, Paul McKenna promoted from the youth setup. That Mourinho thing, him being sacked after such a short period of time for them, is a real positive, because now they're part of something that's positive, and they can build their careers off that. What Manchester United do next, I think, is going to be really important. Again, I've heard Gareth Southgate mentioned again today. I would really rather give the job to Mad Marcus than Gareth Southgate, because at least Mad Marcus knows something about Manchester United. Gareth Southgate is a perfect England manager. He's got the waistcoat, he talks the talk, he's a good people manager, and he only has to manage about 7 or 8 games a season. At Manchester United, it would swallow him up and shit him out. It really would. He was a terrible club manager. Absolutely awful. And he would not know where to start with Manchester United. It is beyond him ridiculously. It really is. Absolutely beyond him. It's like Mad Marcus trying to shag Kylie Minogue. I know he's getting a bit tonight, but it's massively beyond him. He won't mind. And Southgate should never be mentioned. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Sergey Mamedov says, watching Mark in the evening is better than having evening sex. Oh, God, Sergey, I don't know about that. Depends who it is. If it's Mad Marcus. Anyway, chuck me some questions. I don't normally get a chance to do that, but I've whizzed through so much. I'm sort of on the come down now, so I need a pick me up. So give me some questions, we'll go through it. Southgate is a BTEC Ollie, says Davian Francis. I would say he's more of a BTEC Look, Southgate's done a great job with England. But since when has the England job been the precursor to Manchester United? It never should be, and it never will be. Sam Allardyce was England manager. Steve McLaren was England manager. Roy Hodgson was England manager. Kevin Keegan was England manager. Sven-Goran Eriksson. Fabio Capello. Would you have given any of that crap the Manchester United job? No. So just because Southgate does okay, we want to give him the United job. It would be a disaster. He's got no knowledge about United either. He's not achieved anything in club football. It would be a disaster. We won't do it. We may be many things, but we're not stupid. We won't do it. Guy Griffith says, is Schmeichel still connected to the director of football job? Really worried if he is. We need the best, not just ex-pros who just want to have a go. I think Guy Schmeichel put himself forward for the job. He won't get the job. I wouldn't worry about that at all. He definitely won't get it. Thanks for the contribution, Mia, and thank you for that, Guy. Who is Mad Marcus, says Maruf Ali. Where you been, mate? He's the lad who does the watch-alongs with me. Who is Mad Marcus? Wash your mouth out, lad. Wash your mouth out. He wasn't a good player also, says Michael Jones. Neither was Mourinho, though. Southgate is the English Moyes, says S. Flynn. I think Southgate should keep the England job for as long as possible because I think in club football he would be very poor. Most foreign signings take a year or more to bed in. Look at Moussa Sissoko at Tottenham, came from the Premier League, yet 2 years later is showing form. Yes, Fred can improve, says Harry Jones. Interesting. What do you think is more important, the renewal of contracts of the important players or buying a world-class centre-back, says Sagar Kumar. Well, who are the important players that we're trying to renew the contracts of? De Gea, Martial, and that's been going on for ages. So I don't see Phil Jones, Ashley Young, Juan Mata as important players. I think if they want to stay, they stay, but I would be moving a few of them on. Do you think United will beat PSG, says the Football View? I think we've got a lot more important games before that. All I'm interested in is beating Brighton. And I tell you what, I want to beat Arsenal in the Cup. I want to beat Arsenal in the Cup. I really, really want to win it. I know Champions League's more important, and if they beat us, I will just sit there and go, wasn't bothered. I'm not bothered. Face, bothered. I'm not bothered. Do I look bothered? I'm not bothered. I want top four. But I do want to beat them. I want to win the FA Cup under Ollie, and I want to beat them. So, that's what I'm looking at. Brighton, Arsenal, Burnley. I think we've got Leicester, Fulham. That's 5 games. That's sweet as. That's all I'm bothered about. PSG will take care of itself. And one. What do you think about Coutinho, Gabriel da Costa Baldi? I think he's an ex-Liverpool player and he can bollocks. He's not coming to United. Hardeep Harmal has made a contribution. Thanks for that, pal. DT will cry if we beat them. Well, the thing is, if they beat us, it's the only win he's going to get, isn't he, against United? Is Luke Shaw good enough, says Vincent Seaver. Look, that's a great question, Vincent. Where are we on Luke Shaw? It's a democracy. Where are we on Luke Shaw? You got Rance, who thinks he's no good. You got Flex, who likes him. And I really like Luke Shaw. I think Manchester United fans, me included, sometimes we go looking for problems that are way down the list. Luke Shaw is a problem that's not even in the top 10. When you think about, we need a centre-back, we need a CDM, we need a right midfielder, we need to get rid of 6 or 7 players, so we're up to that. Do we need we probably need a right-back more than we need a left-back. Because if people say we don't need a right-back, what are you saying that about then? Ashley Young's about 59, Valencia's leaving, and Dalot, we don't know anything about yet. So we need a right-back more than we need a left-back, potentially. I think we need a backup left-back because we've only got Luke Shaw. If Luke Shaw gets injured, you've got to play Darmian and Jones and Young there. But look, Luke Shaw is still relatively young, isn't he? What is he, 21, 22? And this is his first real season as the first choice left-back. He's been brilliant at times this season. He's had a couple of below par games, but I like the fact that he's English. I like the fact that he's been here a while. I like the fact that he's young. And I like the fact that we haven't had to go and buy anybody. I like Luke Shaw. I think, yeah, he's got development in him. But I don't see what the problem is. He's quite tall for his position. He's fast. He's strong. He's definitely got improvements in him. But what more do you expect? What more do you expect of a left-back who is only really playing his first season as first-choice left-back at Manchester United? And like I say, he's only 23. He's only 23 and a half. So he's not even into his prime years yet. So I'm really happy with him. I really like him, and I think it's, I do disagree with Rants on this. I'm like, well, what? There's too many other problems, even if Luke Shaw needed to be replaced, which I don't think he does. Amal Hussein says, rationale number 9, we need to stick with him. We can't replace Lukaku like for like, so a top right-sided forward to add additional firepower. What we do with Lukaku is going to be very interesting going forward. Really is. Darren Sorden says, I think Luke Shaw's a Leicester player. His defending isn't good enough, says Harry Jones. And did you get my message about Mike Phelan, says Neil Smith. I haven't read it yet. And who would we replace with Shaw, says Asgir. Yeah, well, I did want Sandro in the summer. I'm not going to be a hypocrite because I'm surprised nobody said that. Oh, you were going mad that you wanted Alex Sandro in the summer, because I was. But that's because I never expected Jose Mourinho to play Luke Shaw ahead of Ashley Young, because he didn't last season. So I actually said it in the summer. If Luke Shaw's going to be our first choice left back, we don't need to sign a left back. And I still stand by that. I totally agree that there is definitely still improvement in his game. But I don't know why everybody expects a player that's 23 and he's only 4 or 5 months in to his first season as our first choice left back. You expect him to be flawless, sure. Lindelof's not flawless. They're around the same age, but everyone thinks Lindelof shit's gold. So I don't get it with Luke Shaw. I think there's a little bit of an underlying agenda against him that's unfair when there's way more other areas that need improving. But that's just my opinion. You've got yours. And what? How would a terrible team like United get Sandro, says Gameplay 6TE? The only thing you've missed out of that statement is what shower of shit you support, mate, because you clearly don't support United. And I'll guarantee you haven't told us who you support, because you'd get ridiculed more than I'm ridiculing you now. Most players would come to United, especially now, with the biggest club in the world, you knob. Anyway, no, seriously though, thanks for the contribution. Please, he didn't make a contribution, but thanks for the comment. And please do let us know who you support. Will you be doing 99 Champions League final watch along before or after this season's final, says John Brooks. I haven't even considered it, mate, but we will be doing one. What number 9? Why number 9 if he's number 10? Marcus Rashford, no difference, says Lando Calrissian. Number 9 is not the literal number 9 on the back of the shirt, because obviously Marcus Rashford doesn't wear that. Lukaku does. But what it is, it's the position. The number 9 is your striker. So when people say Marcus Rashford's our number 9, we're talking about him being our striker, not taking the number 9 off Lukaku. We mean he's our striker. He's our number 9, and he is, because he plays the number 9 position, which is the striker. Hi Mark, what do you think of Ruben Neves as our future box-to-box midfielder if Fred doesn't make it? I don't think that will happen to Tactics, because I don't think our relationship with George Mendes is very good, and I think it's probably even worse now we've sacked Mourinho, who is his client. So we've not done any business with George Mendes for a long time, and I don't think that we are going to either. Has Mike Phelan made a difference to Manchester United, says Topster? There's a few people talking about that. Yes, he has. He has. He's been at that club throughout the time Sir Alex Ferguson was successful. He's a very, very good assistant manager, and he knows what he's on about, and he has made a massive difference as well. There's a lot of things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has surrounded himself with to make a difference. It's not all on Ole. Ole is the figurehead, isn't he? He's the one who takes the plaudits, but he's got Sir Alex Ferguson training. He's got Mike Phelan and all his experience. He's got Carrick and McKenna, who've been there for the last 5-6 months, and everything around him is good. Chung Lee says, I feel Ollie deserves at least a full year under him. I've seen enough to feel he is the right man. Back Ollie. Interesting comment. Not going to comment on it, because keep getting asked this. Would you give Ollie the job? And I'm not going to commit. I don't need to. That's the great luxury position we're in at the moment. We don't need to say give Ollie the job now. We don't, because we're in this luxurious position where we can wait till May. And if it continues like it is, of course he's going to get the job. But if it goes wrong, we haven't made a mistake. We can wait till May. And that's nothing against Ollie. I hope he gets the job, because if he gets the job, it means we've done very well. And he would be my dream person for the job. But I'm not going to make my mind up about that yet. We've got this luxury time till May. Let's see what happens. And then if it goes horribly wrong, obviously I don't want him for the job. As much as it's a fantasy and it's the ideal situation, if he's not right for the job, he's not right for the job. It's that ruthlessness again, isn't it? We've got to be ruthless. We've got to get this decision right. And the reason we've got to get it right is because we've made 3 bad appointments now. We can't make a 4th. Johnny Stanley says, if Poch keeps Spurs in the running, losing Kane, Son, Dembele, Sissoko and Dyer still injured, do you think he gets the job at United? I think it's irrelevant, Johnny. I think it's all about what Ollie does at United, not what Poch does at Spurs. I mean, if Poch can do a good job at Spurs with those problems, then, you know, he deserves a lot of credit. But I think Spurs' season is going to fall apart now. And I feel bad for them, I do, because I like Spurs much more than I like Arsenal and Chelsea. But if it opens up the door for us to get top 4, great. Andreas Hansen says, players in the dressing room at half-time of the FA Cup at Old Trafford last Saturday watched Ole Gunnar Solskjaer unleash his own version of the hairdryer. Will have learnt quickly that he will not tolerate a drop in standards. Well, if that's what happened, Andres, that's bloody fantastic. It needs to happen. But I don't think he's a soft touch. I don't think he's too nice. I think he's doing things that are quite evidently clear to be really, really important for Manchester United. And I think none more so than kicking Fellaini out the match squad, Valencia out the match squad, and Lukaku out the team. I think that just shows he's not going to mess out. He's not going to mess about at all. Okay, please do drop a like on the video, everybody, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, get involved. Really enjoyed the show tonight. Really, really enjoyed it. So thanks everyone who's joined us live. We'll be back again every night this week at 8 o'clock. So lots to get involved in for you. I might do a call-in tomorrow night, actually. And obviously Transfer Daily tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Got quite an interesting theme for you, so don't miss that when you get up. Students, you might not be getting up till lunchtime, stereotypically, but yes, do subscribe, bottom corner, and get involved. And if you fancy something a little bit different, I have got my own channel. It's called Mark Goldbridge. It's a little bit football, but it's a bit more it's a bit more about me, I suppose. So if you're interested in that, type Mark Goldbridge in. The video I did today was called Going for Goldbridge. It was talking about the rematch with AFTV, Robbie Williams being a fan of me, and who's in my pocket this week. So if you fancy watching that, just type in the search bar Going for Goldbridge. You'll find my channel, and it went up at lunchtime. Give us your thoughts, drop a subscribe on that if you want. But thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you in the morning at 7 a.m.